Welcome to What in the World, Steve. Today, I'd like to talk to you about an old story with me and my elder. We're out in a nightclub one night, and then the elder that I wasn't directly under, but also has a lot of fellas. We're at a nightclub together, and then he says to me, Dragon, I love all your brothers. Take them all in for me. I accept them all. I said, Elder, I'm so sorry, but I brought them out just to show them, just a good time to play, not to join any affiliates or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if they want to join, then it's totally up to them, but I'm never ever going to ask them that question. It's up to them. Yeah. My elder looked at me. Usually the traditional old way would be like, punishment. You never say no to your elders, especially this elder. This elder was the best in the world. I only found that out later. Yeah. I only found that out later. Because this elder, he told me things too early. When I was 19 years old, he took me out to a suburb. It's a red light district. We call it King's Cross here in Australia. Took me to King's Cross. And then it was one of these nightclubs that had karaoke. And he taught me how to eat raw prawns with garlic and chili with yulo, fish sauce. Yeah, that's right. He goes, you can eat them live. I go, really? Like, it's raw. He goes, all right. We're drinking it with whiskey. It'll burn all the way any bacteria. So you won't be able to, get any stomach aches. So don't worry, mate. I go, thank you, elder. Thank you, We drink more. I'm slaughtered because we're drinking this 40% hard stuff on the rocks. Usually I just drink beer. And he looks at me in the eyes and he says, look how happy you are, Dragon. Oh, yeah. Thank you, elder. Yeah, thank you for taking me out. He looks at me and he says, hey, Dragon, come here. If you like any of these women, just make sure you wear protection, all right? And then I went, oh, yeah, all right. It's not like I was after anyone or looking at the girls. I was just there to have a good time with my elder and then sing some karaoke and then cheers my brothers, have some fun, But yeah, that was another story into another story. So flashback, zap. All right, flashback. So let's go back to the nightclub. Me and him were sitting together. And then he said, let's take all the brothers in. No, we're still at that. No, we're still at King's Cross. Because this is what I need to tell you. He told me too early one thing, which he probably didn't say to any other brothers. He looked at me and he says, Dragon. Yeah, what, elder? He goes, I have nothing but money. And then I went, okay, yeah, cheers. Yalla. And I think from that day forth, he saw something different in me. Because every single brother, if he would have said those words, would have said, Janga, yeah, man, sick. Probably. I'm not sure. Because I'm not under him. But from that day forward, I kept my distance from him. Because I wanted to show him that I'm not about the money. But it's also a mistake because 20 years on. Actually, did it take 20 years? Let's just say it took around about far out. Yeah, it almost took 20 years. Yeah, almost 20 years on, I started like partying back with him. And then I said to him, I had to apologize for a few things. But one thing I did apologize for is the fact that he offered that night. And he said, take all your brothers in. And I said, no, just, it's their choice. If they want, they want. I'm not going to get coerced in by like, I'm not going to coerce them in like they did. Like I got coerced in. But actually I don't regret it because, yeah, I met a bunch of beautiful, beautiful people. Yeah. Brothers. There's always good and bad in every organization, right? But I found some good ones. Beautiful ones. Yeah. For life. Yeah, so while we were partying like 20 years later, almost 20 years later, far out, always 2 decades. He says, I go, Elder, really have to apologize to you for like, not accepting your offer back then. Man, I should have accepted it because like, they would have jumped at the opportunity. They love you so much. He smiled and then I went, because I asked my other brother at the time, I said, like, he gave an offer and like, what usually happens? And then my older bro goes like this, wow. Usually like, by design of like, how the rules work, you wouldn't have been able to answer like that, man. You'd have got the backhander. But, oh my God, he didn't actually give you a backhander. He must have found something in you. Well, you're a good boy along, so I understand why he didn't do it. And I go, well, okay, cool. But I apologized to him when we were partying together. I said, Elder, I want to say sorry for so-and-so, this and that. Because can I just explain something to you? And he goes, such a cool cat. I said, the reason why, like, I said, let them make their own choice is because under 4 Cs, all men are brothers. So when I came out to play, I just wanted to find the like-minded people that showed brotherhoodship, the code, the sign of righteousness. People that have the same values that you do, brothers of righteousness, virtue, good stuff, the good stuff. And then he looked at me like 20 years later and he went, how long? I wanted exactly the same thing. I didn't mean it so like he can join the, what? I actually meant it like for that reason, not for the other reason. Oh yeah, that's right. How stupid of me. Because you don't need it for that reason anyway. Because you have nothing but money. And that's when we saw a truce in each other. And that's when I realized, shit. And then I don't know if he realized it, but at that moment, I realized something. I said, I didn't even dare say it. I said, shit. He's like me. But a different version of me. What a SC. What a legend. Should have followed him earlier. But the role play thing's funny because I'll tell you more stories about it later. But it got to the stage where I ended up following a brother that was his big brother. And my elder ended up holding the baton, so. The youngest ever in the Guinness Book of Records to hold the baton. And the youngest ever to be multi-talented. And the youngest ever to be the richest and wealthiest person ever to hold the baton. Anyway, just playing a game of Risk and Monopoly here. Not talking about much. So just see it as a story. But that's a story I like to share with you and my elder. But like I told you, I didn't find out what it totally fully meant until he went. But I started already seeing the signs. I'd say 49%. And what 49% is that? It's like this. You see me good, and I see you good, and we'll always do good things together.